Connected walking. The first thing to do is extend your leash and step on it about in the middle so there's enough slack your dog can move around if he wants. Then you wait. And this is the hardest part. You're waiting for your dog to settle and connect with you. Henry's pretty used to doing connected walking, so he's pretty settled right here. But what I'm looking for is that he focuses on me, he sits down and lays down to show he's relaxed and ready to go. I waited 1.5 minutes. That seemed like a long time. I didn't say anything, I just waited. This was what I was waiting for. Start walking forward, don't say anything. If your puppy pulls on the leash, just stop and wait for your puppy to look back at you and loosen tension on the leash. Here I take a step back to get Henry to come with me and I turn into him and continue forward. Keep your hand to core. This is at your waist, which is the center of gravity of your body. This will give consistent feedback to your puppy when they hit the end of the leash. Also, it'll help you keep your balance. I don't mind sniffing on a walk like this, but Henry can't pull as he does here. You can see my hand go out with the leash. I bring it back to core and Henry gets better feedback. I still wait for him to reconnect with me, and then we change direction and keep going. Henry's tail is up and wagging. This is a fun walk for him and me. This time I stop. When Henry hits the end of the leash, he stops too. I wait for him to look at me, we turn and take off again. See how he veers off to sniff, but when he hits the end of the leash, he just keeps coming with me. I let Henry do some sniffing here. I haven't been using any treats and haven't been saying anything to him. Letting him sniff is a reward for not pulling. You can see how he starts releasing tension almost immediately when he hits the end of the leash. And I just let him keep sniffing. I back up a little to encourage him to come with me. See how he's checking in with me? Good boy. This session was 5.5 minutes total. Later that morning, we went out for another session. I thought 1.5 minutes was long last time. This time I waited almost 7 minutes for Henry to sit and connect with me. I fast-forwarded this section. Maybe he was just enjoying the sun. While we're waiting, let me tell you about a technique you can use to help overcome your puppy's opposition reflex when it pulls against a leash. Release a bit of tension yourself by moving your hands forward just a bit. Finally, Henry sits down. I loop the leash over my wrist so I have a better grip on it, and off we go. Here I bring my hand to core because Henry pulled a bit harder, and he responds to the end of the leash, but I wait for him to check in with me before we get going again. I stop as soon as I feel tension on the leash, and Henry immediately eases it, so I let him sniff. And he comes with me when I continue. Whoa, good thing I had my hand to core. You can see how hard he pulls me there, but I just wait him out. I also don't let him get to whatever he's trying to get to. Watch carefully. Right there. I release tension on the leash. Then I put a little more tension on the leash, sort of like in the silky leash technique, to see if Henry will turn back to me. It's really not much tension at all. There he goes. It's good to change direction frequently during a walk like this and change pace. Here Henry looks back at me right away as soon as he feels tension on the leash. Henry pulls pretty hard to the ditch here, and my hand to core is not the best technique, but he does something remarkable. Let's see that again in slow motion. My hand to core is almost like a correction, but there was a car coming and I was a little worried about being in the road. Henry's thinking about what to do. He tries to sit, which is sometimes a default behavior for him, but then he moves back into heel position. I let him go sniff for that. This was a good session, and it's about over. The whole thing lasted less than 14 minutes. Keep in mind, half of that I was waiting for Henry to sit before we got going. I'm getting complacent here at the end. My hand was not at core, but still Henry stopped, and then I was able to drop that tension on the leash a little bit for him. Good job.